Kathleen Morris is here, and I've got two people that will be introducing her tonight, Roberta Ziccarelli and Vicki Skoglund, and then we will have Prom Girl on, and she'll be headed back to her disco nights or Stairway to Heaven or whatever it was. So anyway, well, Stairway to Heaven, that was mine in 1976.
My name is Roberta Ziccarelli, and I joined late in the year, and one of the first things I got to do was read the scholarship applications. And I know that most of you are familiar with with part of the process, but we decided tonight that I would introduce the whole process. And I'd like to thank everybody for their support for this whole process, and then tell you a little bit about what we did. And this process started in January and February when the scholarship applicants started filling out their applications, and they came in February of the year. This year we had a record number of applications, and it started, so we had about 3 months. There were about 60 plus applications, which was way more than we had last year. Each one was read by members in a small group that met almost daily at Joan's house. We had over 1,000 pages that we each had to read. So we read for, a couple hours, took a break, had some food, read more, took a break, come back at night, read some more. The applications were evaluated by each one of us on the basis of academics. We read essays, their community service lists, recommendations. And if you all look at your table, you have Kathleen's application on your table, so you can see this is kind of an example of what everybody had to read. It was an impressive group of girls. These 60 girls were just impressive. We scored everybody, and we were able to come up with a ranking and a list of 14 semifinalists. This group of 14 semifinalists was sent out to the entire membership. Everybody read those, ranked those, and the final 3 were chosen. They were invited to present a prepared speech in front of a live group of members, as well as answer some questions at a question and answer session. As you can see, it's a very long process and a long journey that ends tonight. This year we've selected Kathleen Morris. She'll be attending USC, majoring in pre-law or public policy. She's graduating from Libertyville High School and is joining us tonight in mid-prom, full-on gear. Kathleen has a long list of achievements. She's an outstanding academic record, many community service activities. She played sports during her high school career. She tutored students in North Chicago. She worked at Condell Hospital and also at the Center Club. She was involved in many multiple business projects and many mentoring activities. Kathleen embodies the philosophy and values of 100 women making a difference. She cares about helping others. She's a kind person, and she'll make a positive difference in the lives of those around her. We're honored and thrilled to award this scholarship to Kathleen.
I'm going to talk about a very small component, but I think maybe even the most important component of our selection process, and that's something that Joan has called spirit, and the spirit of 100 women. And I happen to see, I'm a movie fan, I happen to see Judy Garland and James Mason, and wonderful.
She looks nothing like Judy Garland.
No, I know. In A Star is Born, and at the beginning of that film, James Mason is explaining to Judy Garland how extraordinary she is and what talent she has. Because of course, she has no idea she's so extraordinary and so wonderful. And I thought what he said was so important that it applies to all of our winners for these scholarships. He said, you've got that little extra something that Ellen Terry talked about. She said that's what star quality was, that little something extra. And believe me, she has got something extra, absolutely. She has academics, she has sports, she has a very deep commitment to social causes. She is fun, she is responsible, she has something that I value, and I'm sure all of you do too. She has emotional intelligence. And my gosh, at her age, I hate to tell you, I mean, how many of us really could be as poised as she was giving her speech? Kipling wrote, "It isn't beauty, so to speak, although she has that, nor good talk necessarily, it's just it. She has it, and that's why we chose her."
I truly am so grateful for this opportunity and this award, and I'd really like to thank everyone in this room who made this possible. When I began the college application process, I really didn't know exactly how I would be able to pay for school. I actually have a younger sister coming up behind me, so I was acutely aware of the financial burden that attending a top university could have on my family and myself. So I initially went into the college selection process with the idea that I might have to settle. But thanks to scholarships like this from 100 Women, I'll actually be able to attend the university of my choice and go to University of Southern California, where I'll be studying business and public policy. I never could have imagined being so blessed with the opportunity to study at the university of my choice, and I really am so thankful for this opportunity. And beyond that, 100 Women is giving me the opportunity to not only be able to attend school in California, which, by the way, is further from Chicago than I've ever been in my entire life, but I'll actually be able to take advantage of all of the academic opportunities that USC offers beyond that, shattering any limits I previously could have imagined. With this extra funding, it's finally going to be a possibility for me to go abroad and participate in programs like the Global Leadership Program, study abroad, and summer research, which otherwise the sheer cost of these programs might have prohibited me from doing so. But now, opportunities like studying at an internship in Geneva about international relations or implementing social entrepreneurship projects in Ghana, those opportunities are finally realities, and that's something that before I could never have imagined. And it's such a good feeling to know that not only will I be able to graduate from USC completely debt-free, but that I will be able to take advantage of these intellectual and cultural opportunities along the way. And finally, I'd really like to thank you all, not just for the financial opportunity that this scholarship clearly represents, but for the possibility to be a part of this amazing network of women. I really have seen this just from my initial presentation date, where I was completely terrified, probably more than I am now. And I was standing out in the room, and I know that Barb actually had to calm me down when she shook my hand, and I was sweating, and not just shaking her hand, but my hand was shaking on its own. But I was immediately welcomed by the women and walked in and saw smiling faces of people who truly cared and wanted to get to know about me. So much throughout the college application process, you're kind of made to feel like you're just a number or an ACT score or a GPA. But 100 Women has made me feel like I am so much more than that, and this really has been such an empowering feeling. Just looking back to my initial presentation date, I remember having the little intro question session, which really threw me for a loop because it wasn't a formal question. One of the ladies actually asked me what my favorite television show was, and that shook me because I was used to interviews where you had a set answer, and I didn't know if they wanted me to say I only watched CNN or that I was too busy to watch television at all. But then I had the greater realization that the women of this organization really just wanted to get to know me on a genuine personal level. And from that moment forward, I really felt like such a member of this group. I felt so welcomed, and I truly have felt like more than a number. Just by supporting my ideas and my passions and providing this great network, 100 Women, is really showing me how much of a change I can represent. Some of the women even went as far as taking me out to dinner and to shop to get to know me better. And one thing that really stood out to me during that experience was when Joan and the other women were talking about how they've continued to advocate for and support the other scholarship girls throughout their 4 years. And they kept referring to them as our girls and our kids. And just those words really showed me how much of a family this really has become and what a support network 100 Women is for these scholarship students. I truly know that I will have an amazing support system there rallying for me to achieve success and to achieve my goals throughout my next 4 years. I truly feel that I'm joining a family, and I can't wait to share in my personal and educational journey with all of you. And I'm so thankful for this opportunity, as you've all really showed me how much individuals can make a big difference in the lives of other people. And I can only hope that I can continue to pay this gift forward by using my education to better the world and serve other people. Thank you again.